registrazione per parlarvi un po' di Israele. La pubblicherò questa domenica. Speriamo che vi piaccia. Comunque, se volete iscrivervi e avere un dialogo aperto, potete anche contattarmi in privato. Caso mai volesse avere un dialogo. A patto che io lo possa registrare perché sono un politico, sto facendo carriera e vorrei tanto mettere il mio lavoro sui media. We look for the complete peace and disarmament dialogue between the Palestinian Authority and Israel due to the police charged by both sides against their own protesters and against the protesters that they as against with other protests, etc. However, this is not arranged to be completed only to make a rap, but in fact it wasn't humble. Excuse me. We want to end to complete peace and prosperity in all the region of the Galilee, because in the region of the Galilee there are mass rebellion ongoing against both sides. These regions are occupied by both the extremists of Hamas, both the Palestinian Authority, some minor faction like Hezbollah and the Israeli Reserve, and the IDF, which is of course the Israel Defense Force. The IDF at any rate because the IDF is some among the greatest extremist group which would have ever existed because they lie because of the Zionism, which from great part of their own army. In fact, IPAC, which is a Zionist lobby, stands for open funding for the IDF, and other lobbies like the United States of America Israeli lobby found the Zionism to help the IDF to turn the economy inside their own country. But these are not conspiracy theory. These are data therapy by fact. Other lobby among the Israelo-American and the Palestinian Chinese would have sent the phone into the war by Hamas to only create division in Gaza. In fact, seeing the rebellion backed by IDF into the Gazawi territory and the Palestinian Authority, which don't intervene doing nothing, are complete formality on Hamas in mass for what they do to Israel by killing civilians. We don't have time to the life of the civilians, which are surely amongst the greatest people on this planet, to have existed consistent with each other for thousands of thousands of years. Based on the arrival of the great leaders, we would have divided only for economical reasons. But we are, despite the existence of the Illuminati, and we think they are a small guerrilla group in Italy which would have a possible weapon against the rising hate among religious and by the atheist strategism against religion. Of course, we don't think that there is real estate radical left about that. Mostly because of the prison consensus choosal that some of the Italian right-wing politicians would have done about the trophy, of course. But we don't really want that, and we want to come through. The thing that we want to do nowadays at any rate are to despising any offenses by the Palestinian people in the occupied Palestinian Authority territory against Israel or as by Israel on the Palestinian Authority people, by defining the word of extremism spreading out largely in the Middle East to distinguish their people among the other people, of course. The Zionists really are extremists. The Zionism itself is an extremism, which is provoked by the willing of Israel to accuse their expansion, and their expansion is really provoked by the will of the other people to destroy Israel. But of course, this is not the will of all the people, so why to sponsor the Zionism, which also procured the killing of children and the displacement of the Gazawi with the replacement of the kibbutz, of course, which are villages no more people terrorists there to be attacked by the Palestinians, which are of course the neighbor of the Israeli, because they are the most in danger wherever they are formed. In fact, they are from in places like Cisjordania and in the complete border with Gaza. And if there is a crazy amount of safety in those neighbors for a country in the Middle East, we can be at the neighbor due to safety and the spies on security for what they have done in the Middle East. The Palestinian Authority don't secure their own airport and rather found extremist revolt outside of the confinement for what is happening in Israel and in Galilee. We don't want to make defamation, but these are the evidence that are coming. In fact, some evidence will be shown in video. However, we think that the Israeli extremism is the Zionism, while the Palestinian Authority extremism is only the PCP, being not in this case not the Palestinian Communist Party, but the Palestinian Communist Party, and the PK and the association with KPP, excuse me, Kurdistan Communist Party, or KKP, PKK, okay. This authority are some among the largest authority, and everything will be shown in data precedent to this speech. We commentary are some among the greatest authority terrorizing actions in the Middle East. Other than this authority, there is the Nazi Palestinianism, which is truly an ideal affiliated with Nazi, and the fascism in Palestine, being the fascist Islamism, which is a combination of Islamism and fascism due to ethnical discrimination by the Arab against the African and Israeli, and by the non-white Palestinian against the white Palestinian, or certain real jihadist group and communist groups. These communist groups would have been eradicated by Israel, which would have immediately taken over during the video that you see, no, during the missingness of the English troopers in the colony. The missingness of the English troopers in the colony, for example, the missingness of the French troopers in the colony, would have always provoked extremism and wide spread of communism in the region. But in fact, the jihadists are among the most vicious and fundamentalist ideal in the area, and the more probability that there will be a jihadist insurrection, being the fact that the Nazis were already ended due to the conclusion completed on the Muslims, which made the support, and due to the Muslims wide spread in the area, would have provoked a Muslim rebellion for sure, and the probability are so fucking high, so we don't want to be attacked. But there are so many other probability that we are pre-Israeli extremism, so we already don't object both the states, and these are the extremism among the Palestinian and Israeli. For sure, there will be a percentage which demonstrates that pastor the Palestinian isn't extremist, but in fact, the wide-out spread of the Arab Primavera would have provoked the wide-out spread of the protests for the women in all the Middle East, including Israel, because Israel was one of the greatest supported, and that the combatants, which would have fight for them in Libya and in Syria, excuse me, and in Lebanon. Also, the other combatants, which would have fight for them in Beirut. To withdraw of offenses made by the soldier, which already came out and adding to the history, which were enlightened by Netanyahu in the last years, would have come to alter anti-Muslim protests in the next years, would have been the large wide spread of the anti-Zionist extremism, even by the side of the woman, or the Arab Primavera spread out, and this diffused also some sort of Nazi feminism, which were despised to have existed, but where this is a danger, we cannot trust it, and we can neither trust the Nazi feminism for economic reasons. You know, the men are some amongst the greatest workers in society, not to despise the transsexual, but they are for physical dotation. Just if you see the stats of a man like me, you could wonder if a woman is really a good worker, but we are secure you and when we are totally safe in argumentation about that, and we despise that the women are angry workers. But however, the woman that are great workers won't have equalized the sum of the work made by the man in the last years. So at any rate, we can stand for gender equality, and we want the woman not in the kitchen, but making their job, or else other woman which will wanted to work and would have been more capable than the man in this case would have gotten to work. But we despise any homophobic extremism made by the Israeli and the Palestinian, and we despise any other extremism. Over the direct of the women, the direct of the workers, which matter also for the rich workers and the Shavu parties, and also the Muslim and the Jewish would have mattered. And there are percentage slightly the most I would say. So now we analyze the video and look for the percent one. Questo è il conflitto israelo-palestinese, la data di inizio del 1948. Come confermato nel 1948 ci furono i primi concerni sull'israelismo che sarebbe successo nel conflitto israelo-palestinese accaduto nel XX secolo, che sono ovviamente quelli dopo la seconda guerra mondiale dovuti all'olocausto. Nel 1948 si sono svolti i primi convogli dei sionisti appunto a Sion, e questo è quello che sarebbe successo. Ci sarebbe stata un'occupazione palestinese, cioè un'occupazione israeliana di tutti i territori della Palestina a est del fiume Giordano, al seguito dei quali alcuni si sarebbero liberati appunto dal Jordan River al mare, il Front River to the Sea. Come si dice, Palestine will be free. Gli schieramenti sono questi: l'autorità nazionale palestinese, il Fatah, Hamas, lo Stato di Palestina e il governo di tutta la Palestina, che sono le autorità principali che si sono opposte alle forze libanesi, lo Stato libero del Libano, la Germania, il Regno Unito, la Francia, gli Stati Uniti ed Israele. Quindi insomma, se considerano che Hamas avrebbe fatto morti civili, anche sui civili, il Fatah sarebbe stato uno schieramento apertamente dichiarato estremista, ci sarebbe stato tantissimo estremismo da tutte e due le lati. E poi c'è la Lega Araba, l'OIC, l'Hezbollah, Siria, Lebanon, la Corea del Nord, l'Unione Sovietica. Come vedete, la maggior parte dei capi palestinesi sono morti, a parte Mahmoud Abbas e Khaled al-Mashal. Sarebbe stato uno sconfitto umiliante per la Palestina, ma noi crediamo che ci sia stato un atto di combattimento non detto. Cerchiamo i Chia nascosti da Israele. Kia significa Killed in Action. Si chiama Killed in Action IDF. Report. Basta contare questi dati per capire quante persone israeliane sono state uccise nel conflitto in Gaza dall'inizio fino alla fine. Si conta dai 15 ai 16 morti da Israele in Gaza. Questo non era quello che volevamo cercare, ma comunque ci sono 900 dal 2023, quindi da molto tempo fa ci sono 910 casualità reportate dall'IDF contro Hamas, che appunto sarebbero stati dei soldati uccisi dall'IDF. Le autorità palestinesi nominano 910 soldati e 7 ufficiali di polizia uccisi nella guerra in Gaza. Questi sarebbero tra gli ufficiali che si sarebbero uniti alla guerra. Comunque è un report contro l'IDF, quindi a parte del terrorismo possiamo classificare che l'IDF abbia nascosto dei morti in Gaza, che non è terrorismo perché nessuno vuole mettere in pericolo la vita dei combattenti. Dico bene, ora cerchiamo estremismo in Gaza. Cos'è Hamas? Hamas è un estremismo in Gaza. Scusate. Questa è la Palestinian Authority. Widely considered as an authoritarian regime, the Palestinian Authority held election has not held election in over 15 years. Questo significa che l'autorità palestinese non ha mai svolto le elezioni in più di 15 anni. Se volete potete tradurre da voi, anzi lo metto come screenshot del video. Questo è lo screenshot.